Imagine a backyard. What was once simple and peaceful has now become a jungle that's completely out of control. Look at it, ivy endlessly twisting, crawling up walls and fences. Mint, which should be a small plant, now taking over entire walkways. Even the garden beds are filled with random objects covered in leaves. What I initially thought would be a beautiful, colorful garden has turned into a dense, overgrown, and unmanageable nightmare. In this video, I'll show you my challenging journey, how I battled stubborn invasive plants, cleared a neglected space, and transformed it into a vibrant and comfortable dream garden. When I think about it, I have a lot of regrets in my gardening journey. Back then, I planted with enthusiasm, hoping for a green and beautiful yard. But the reality was far different. Just look, the little mint that once looked tame, now spreads wildly over the path. The bamboo, I thought, would form a natural fence, instead grew out of control like a mini forest. And the ivy, while it looked beautiful, it actually twisted everywhere, making the yard feel cramped and messy. What once seemed like a good choice turned into an unmanageable nightmare. Weeds in your yard don't just create an unsightly mess, they can also lead to more serious problems. Invasive plants can harbor rats, snakes, and even dangerous ticks. From the outside, it might look like a lush garden, but it's actually a new home for unwanted wildlife. And even worse, a neglected yard can lower property values. Just compare a bare, overgrown lot to a clean, well-maintained yard. The difference is stark. In short, letting your garden grow wild invites pests, lowers your home's value, and increases security risks. If we look closely, this problem of weeds isn't just confined to our yards. In neglected corners of community gardens, invasive plants are taking over once-tended spaces. Small forests and neglected meadows are turning into hiding places for wildlife. Unchecked bamboo can cover fences, completely obliterating property boundaries. Meanwhile, ivy creeps up walls and buildings, slowly destroying the structures it touches. Abandoned fields, wild areas, even small, neglected beds all pose their own dangers, both to the environment and to anyone living nearby. It all started as a simple dream. I wanted a lush, green backyard, full of life. On paper, the idea seemed perfect. Ivy for coverage, mint for freshness, bamboo for privacy. But in reality, things got out of control fast. The English ivy spread endlessly, climbing fences and smothering walls. Mint, once just a tiny sprig, began crawling across pathways and even under the stairs. And the bamboo, it didn't stop at a neat little screen. It grew into a dense jungle, swallowing everything in its path. That's when I realized my dream garden had turned into a wild nightmare. So, I rolled up my sleeves and fought back. With a spade, I dug out weeds, clippers, and a saw cut through stubborn bamboo stalks. With gloves on, I pulled at ivy roots that clung to the ground like chains. Every cut, every pull was a struggle, but slowly, I began to take back my yard. It felt less like gardening, and more like battling a jungle, right in my own backyard. After all that hard work, my garden finally began to transform. The messy beds are now neat and lined with fresh mulch. Herbs thrive in pots, and vertical planters bring new color to the walls. From above, the layout feels open and inviting. There's a cozy seating area, a trellis for climbing plants, and hanging pots adding layers of life. And the best part, this space isn't just mine anymore. Bees hover over blossoms, butterflies dance through the air, and small birds have returned to visit. Now, it's a garden I truly love, and the wildlife I wanted is finally back. And that was my journey from a backyard that turned into a jungle, to finally reclaiming it as a garden I truly loved. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever battled your own backyard jungle, or maybe struggled with invasive plants that completely took over your space? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to read about your experiences. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss the next transformation story, gardening tips, and inspiration to help you keep your green space beautiful and healthy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching. Happy nice day.